Hello and welcome to this Akashic Knowing preparation and healing call. So this call is for Course 1 students to help open and clear our chakras, our channels, and we will be opening up the clairs, the clairaudient, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. So we'll be working on clearing and opening our clairs and connecting up some of these higher chakras that are outside of our body, our 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th chakras that are all above our heads. So lots to do. I know that this will help everyone to align with greater ease and grace to doing the Akashic record work. So I'm excited to see you all here today. So let's just get started by getting grounded and getting consciously present in our bodies today. One of the things that makes it actually easier to access these higher realms is when our physical bodies feel safe and secure. When we're grounded and really feeling like we're fully in our bodies, then it's much easier to expand into these other dimensions, places, and planes. So let's just start with a nice deep breath. And we will use the tripod grounding system, which is a system I teach in my classes. So if you haven't heard about it yet, we'll go further into that in Course 1. But for now, just go ahead and sit back as I guide you through this brief visualization. So closing your eyes if you're able. Let's start by inviting our spirits, our souls, to come down fully present into our physical bodies. And so I see them dropping down into our crown chakra, further down into our heads and down into our torso, coming all the way down into our bellies, inviting the spirit to come all the way down into the hips and down into the legs, further down, all the way down into our feet. And taking a nice breath as you feel this energy coming more present in your physical body. Imagine that you can grow roots from the bottoms of your feet. Really, we're connecting from our feet chakras, which are in the arches of your feet. And just imagine you're growing some energetic roots down, a few feet down into Mother Earth, and then let those roots go down and spread out, creating a nice root system, helping to keep you grounded. And we're using our 2 feet. And now let's add the tripod, the third kind of grounding piece, which is a tail, a big grounding cord from the base of your spine. So if you just imagine, just like a monkey has a monkey's tail or a tiger has a tiger tail, they all really come kind of from that place at the base of the spine. And just imagine it's really wide, kind of like a beaver's tail. Expand that across the base of your hips, just making it really kind of big and strong. And now let's see that tail, that grounding cord, go straight to the core of the earth. And we wrap it around the core of the earth, and we ask our Mother Earth to help us to stay grounded and present as we do this expansive work today. And as you'll learn more about in Course 1, we can also use this grounding cord tail to clear, release, and actually dump old energy from our bodies down the grounding cord into that core of the earth. And our dear Mother Earth will help us to really kind of burn it off, recycle this energy. So having a tripod grounding system, nice roots from your feet, this big grounding cord from your tailbone all the way to the center of the earth, that helps you to be grounded, connected to Gaia, to our Mother Earth, and to clear, release, and dump old energy that no longer serves you. Dump it right out of your body. And that's one of the ways that we do clearing and releasing easily. So just feeling that solid connection to the earth. And coming back up, further up into your body. Let's come all the way up into our hearts and just take a nice deep breath into our hearts, inviting our hearts to open and expand a little further. Feeling that opening, that love and compassion. Feel that radiating out in your body as you let your fourth chakra, your heart chakra, expand to be as big as your rib cage, as big as your torso. And even bigger if that's comfortable for you. If you're in your house, if you're in a really calm, quiet, safe space for you, often we can let our hearts expand out to fill our whole auric field. And we will talk a little more about that also as we get into Course 1. Because all of our chakras are flexible. They open and close. And it's good to be aware of that and to consciously use that tool, that skill, when needed. So good. So just coming back present, we'll get started. Basically what I'm going to do is just go through and we're going to start working on the head centers. So we have our third eye, which is our clairvoyance. There is also your sixth chakra, kind of in a similar place. That sixth chakra runs straight through from your forehead to the back of your head. And the third eye, of course, we see that kind of between our eyebrows. So different energy, similar positioning. The third eye is also connected to the pineal gland. So we're going to do clearing on all of these pieces and parts that help us with our intuition, with our connection to the divine, to, of course, the connection to the Akashic Records. And so we'll do clairvoyance, and then we'll work on our clairaudient channels, which is that clear hearing. And even though very, very few people actually hear a voice that sounds like it's coming from outside of their heads, 99% of us receive our clairaudient messages. They sound like us, and so we find it a little bit confusing. Because we often doubt that message. It's like, well, that was in my voice. That was in my head. How could that be coming from the Akashic Record Keepers? But honestly, for most of us, that's really the way we receive our clairaudient information, But it's also important to open those channels, to connect them all up, the clairaudient, which kind of runs around your physical ears, and then there's a channel that runs down the side of your neck, and it comes together in the front of your body and continues down into your heart. So honestly, we're really receiving most of our clairaudient messages more in our fourth chakra, in our heart, which then translates into our head, into hearing that message in our voice, in our head. And occasionally people hear kind of that voice outside of their head that, sounds like a different person. And I will say that I occasionally will receive those kinds of messages when the record keepers really want to get my attention, and they'll say something like, "Write the next book," and it sounds kind of like this big male voice, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's super rare, even though I occasionally get that kind of clairaudience. It's super, super rare. It only happens every couple of years as a rule, and it's when they really want me to do something. So my way of saying, don't expect a big booming voice outside of your head. That's not how you're going to be getting your messages. So they're much more subtle, and we receive energy and information on all levels and layers. So that's another very important thing to be conscious about. So we have our clairvoyance, right, that third eye. We have our clairaudience, which is, right, connected to our ears and down into our hearts. But we also have claircognizance, which is a clear knowingness. And often that, again, is very heart-centered. So we're going to be doing clearing around the heart chakra to open that claircognizance also. And then many of us are also very clairsentient, right? We're feeling beings. We receive so much information in our guts or as a feeling. We're empathic. We feel other people's energy, other people's emotions. And so a lot of information comes through kind of energetic, feeling, emotional. And what I find for some people, when we're learning to access the Akashic Records, that can be a little bit harder to translate into a message because it's coming through more as kind of a feeling, and we don't quite know what to do with it. But again, we'll talk more about this as we get into the course. But we're going to work on that kind of third chakra, opening and clearing some of that clairsentience. And then as we do that, and then we'll go through and help to just kind of open and align these higher chakra centers and channels to connect with ease and grace up to our higher selves and up into our Akashic Records. So let's get started. So you can really just kind of sit back and close your eyes and relax, and I am going to start just working on these channels, and I'll just tell you what I'm seeing or working on as I do it, and as we go on kind of to the next thing. So you will notice. If you notice anything, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Some people are very sensitive in their bodies physically. They feel the energy. They might feel a heat or a cool or a swirling or a tingling. And some people really feel nothing in that way. I'm actually really more one of those kinds of people. I'm more visual, so I'll see swirling or colors or sparkles, but I don't feel it in my body. So I always find it so interesting, people who have that deep kind of really clairsentience, that strong feeling in the body. How that shows up. So they're all perfect. We all receive information a little bit differently, but I also have noticed that with time and practice in the records that we start to open up all of these different senses. And honestly, sometimes it's quick. Sometimes I'm working with the course, the third course, where people are actually learning to do Akashic Record readings for other people. And what students will often say is that, they may have been more clairaudient, claircognizant, clairsentient, but when they do a reading for someone else, they get to see pictures because that other person's energy is more clairvoyant. So sometimes we open to other parts of our gifts when we actually learn to do readings for other people. So if that speaks to you, sometimes it's all a process. It's a step-by-step journey, right? It's a path, it's a process, It's not a destination, as the record keepers always say. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start working on the third eye, the clairvoyance. I think that's the one thing that people are always really interested in getting activated. So let's do some work around that third eye. We'll go into the pineal gland, but let me just start with the third eye, and I'll just kind of let you know as we move around in your head. So taking kind of, deep, slow, conscious breaths, I find can be helpful also. Helps to keep the energy moving. We're going to actually go back and do some past life clearing. The record keepers want us to clear past lives in which we've had kind of traumatic endings because we've been really clairvoyant. We've been seers or prophets and oracles, right? That's been what we've been, and sometimes that meant that we were locked away and enslaved. And sometimes it also means that we were killed for those gifts. And so we want to clear that physical pain, the trauma, the emotional pain, kind of that past life pain and trauma that keeps us stuck in the, I don't want to have that gift because I don't want to get killed for that again. So I'm going to clear out those past lives for everyone. And if any of those pictures pop up, just thank them and let them go. Just know they're showing up to be released. It's important that we don't attach ourselves to the stories or the trauma or the pain. It's other lifetime. It's gone. You're living here now, right? So whether we were burned at the stake or, killed for something or enslaved for our gifts, or other reasons, that is all in the past, and that's one of the very important pieces of work that we do in the Akashic Records, is to let that pain and trauma go, let those blocks and constrictions go, because they stop us from stepping into our power and our gifts in this life when we hold on to that fear and that trauma. So taking a couple of nice deep breaths, just blow it out. Erasing the physical pain that you may have experienced in those lifetimes. And we'll erase the emotional pain from these different lives. And these are some of the tools that I teach in Course 2, is how to clear some of this emotional pain and trauma from our past lives so that we can free ourselves up. The spiritual pain, which is really that energy about, why have you forsaken me, God? Why have you left me here to be harmed or hurt or killed when I'm doing the work of the divine? So I always call that spiritual pain, and we want to clear and release that also. Good. I'm just seeing some third eyes blinking open at me. I always love that. So yes, it's safe to open your third eye, your clairvoyance now. We're safe. We're safe here and now. Good. And we're going to go connect back into the pineal. And that is in the center of your head, and we'll do a lot of different kind of work around that and guided visualizations as we go on into Course 1 and Course 2. But for now, we're going to ask our Akashic Record Keepers to open and clear some of that energy, the calcification that we get around our pineal glands. It often comes from fluoride in our waters and things like that, age. And so there are a couple of different ways to help to decalcify your pineal gland. But one of the ways that I do it is to ask the record keepers to give us a little kind of jolt of Akashic lightning to kind of crack that open and help that to reactivate and open up. So just letting that kind of high energy buzz down into the center of your head, opening and clearing your pineal gland. Good. Good. And, you know, there's also just, so you know, there's a bunch of different YouTube videos, everything from working with a mineral called boron to different guided visualizations. And again, we'll do more work in Course 1 and 2 around our pineal and our opening and our alignment. But if you really feel like that energy might be stuck in you, there's, you know, some great information out there online. So good. So let's go on to the clairaudient channel. So we're going to clear the clairaudience, that clear hearing. So we want to clear that. So in your ears, the channels around the ears that run down the sides of the neck, they kind of come together in the front of your body, kind of right beneath the clavicle, and then they drop straight down into the heart. So just clearing and opening those channels, stretching those a little wider. And then they're actually clearing some finer wiring that goes kind of from the ears into the brain is what it looks like. So clearing all of that out, so kind of opening and rewiring our clairaudient channels. Okay. That's looking better. You might feel that kind of buzzing and tingling down the sides of your neck or even into your fifth chakra, even into your throat. Okay, letting that drop down into your heart. We're just going to do a little heart level clearing where the clairaudience connects in. We're going to come back and do a little more work around the fourth chakra, but they're anchoring this clairaudient channel into the heart chakra. So we have these different anchor points also in our bodies. We have a bunch of anchor points in our heart. This is one of the ways the soul really anchors also into our bodies. And we want to anchor our clairaudience in. Okay, and then we're just going to come back up into our heads. We're going to ask the record keepers to assist us, but I'm also going to use our wonderful prayer to clear other people out of our space. And you'll learn this in Course 1, clearing other people's energy. And we also have one for entities and energy patterns, but for right now we're going to start with other people's energy, because it's often that gets in our space. They get in our telepathics, which are really the channels around your eyes, and then they almost look like a pair of glasses, if you imagine. They circle above your eyes, around your eyebrows, underneath your eyes. They kind of cross the bridge of your nose, and they run back the sides of your head and really kind of around your ears and connect into that clairaudience also. So this is also how we receive telepathic information, right? People get in our telepathics, they send us information, they talk to us, we actually pick it up clairaudiently, which often turns into something that we're thinking, which might mean someone is thinking about you, they want to talk to you, and you, all of a sudden, they pop into your head. You may kind of feel like it's important for you to call that person. You might get that clear of a message. Oh, call Mom, or you might just think of them. Oh, Mom, God, I haven't talked to her in a long time. But it's whichever way you're getting it. It's really a telepathic message, because she's telepathing you and thinking, oh, I need to talk to my child, or I haven't talked to my kids in a long time. I wonder what they're doing. And sometimes people are just thinking about us, but they're actually getting in our space and telepathing us. And so they're in our heads, they're in our telepathics, we're getting a clairaudient message, they're in our space. And so we are going to use the prayer to clear other people's energy out of our space. So we ask Mother, Father, Goddess, God to please assist us in clearing and releasing all outside energies that are in our body, our aura, or our energy field. Please send that back to the person from who it came, or send it back to Divine Source to be recycled for the highest good of all. We are filled with our purest energy and highest vibration that we can now hold. And so it is. Blessed be. So take a couple of breaths as we allow yourself to release that energy of other people. Releasing that out. Making more space in your body for you, especially in your, all of these places. That is how we wanted to receive this messages from our record keepers, from our higher selves, from our internal guidance. And when there's a bunch of other people in your head and in your body, it's very hard to do. So just we're going to continue to clear and ground and drain other people out of our telepathics as that connects into the clairaudient channels. So just moving all that out. So our heads are looking a little better. And now what I want to do is kind of balance the left and the right hemisphere so that we have kind of a balanced, linear, and more creative, intuitive side, the male side, the female side, right? We often think about the male side as the logical side, the female side or the feminine side. More creative, compassionate, loving, compared to a little more linear, logical, okay? But we want to balance them. We want to bring them into one unified field of the truth of who we are as divine Mother, Father, Goddess, God in a body, being a sovereign soul in a singular body right here and now. So imagine a gold infinity symbol from your left side of your brain to your right side of your brain. It just runs horizontally. And I like to use golden liquid light, the highest vibration of you. And that center point would kind of be in the center where the left and the right hemisphere touch. And that would be your center point. And we're just going to balance and reconnect and strengthen the connection between the left and the right hemisphere so that you can receive all information with ease and grace. Good. Now we're going to go down into the fifth chakra, and we want to open and clear our fifth chakra, which is really our communication channel. We want to open our abilities to communicate truth. Whether we're doing it, receiving it, and communicating it internally within ourselves, or we're receiving it. Of course, as you will be learning in Course 1, you'll be receiving information, and we're going to let it flow to and through and out of us into a journal. So we're going to start channeling Akashic guidance by writing. That makes it so much easier to get out of the waiting point of, I'm waiting to hear a message, I'm waiting for a big booming voice, I'm waiting for some picture, right? So we want to be able to open all of these communication channels. So, of course, our fifth chakra, our throat, we think about it as speaking, but it's also very much connected to writing and to opening to receive and allow ourselves to release, to channel, to share the information that we're receiving. So just clearing our fifth chakras, opening and allowing to receive divine guidance. And we're going to, again, drop back down as we're finishing clearing the fifth chakra. We're going to go down into our hearts. And clear that. We want to clear any kind of grief or sadness. We want to clear the fear of stepping into our truth and our power. We want to open our hearts so that they can expand even further. And then again, we're going to go from our hearts because really this is very much, let's go down one more to our third chakra. We're going to clear, because that's, of course, a lot of our clairsentience, that feeling sense. We want to clear any shame or guilt or fear that's stuck in our third chakra. Also, that keeps us from stepping into our power. It's really very much our will center. It's very much a creative center, and it's very connected, of course, to that clairsentience, to our following our guts. For many of us, it's really about following our soul path. Good. Then we're going to go back up. We're really cleared energy really in this relationship to our gifts, in our third, in our fourth, in our fifth. In our sixth, we cleared around our sixth. I'm going to clear all the way through our sixth chakra, receiving deep insights, clearing any illusion. We want to clear doubt out of our sixth chakra. And we're going to go up into our crown chakras, and we're just going to open and clear. The crown chakra looks very much like a lotus, all these petals opening. It's got 144 sides. And so just kind of the lotus flower with all the petals is such a beautiful kind of way to imagine it. I often kind of see it like a dome with 144 little pieces of angles. So we just want to open and clear that to connect up to our cosmic energy, up to our 8th chakra above our head, connecting up to divine love. We have creative, these are often we call them creative rings. There's a lot of our kind of psychic abilities that are in that 8th chakra, that creative ring above your head. And then we want to connect up to the next chakra. We want to open and clear any of our soul blueprints to receive new soul information and blueprints, to allow us to receive genetic information and new genetic blueprints as they come in. And up to the 9th chakra above our heads. 10th chakra, sorry. Moving up really into these higher realms, into where we hold a lot of the energy of union, and where we can work on healing some of our polarities between masculine, feminine, the light, the dark, good and bad. So we want to balance and unify all of these polarities. That's up in our 10th chakra. And as we go up into the 11th, where we can start to move outside of time and space, we can work with timelines, we can really, this is where we really up the healing. And up into our 12th chakra, which is our oversoul, our higher self, up into our oversoul. And as we'll start to work and go beyond into really source energy, where our Akashic Records are stored, we're actually going beyond all of these chakras up into the Akashic Records, and that's what we'll be really connecting into in Course 1. But having all of these higher chakras kind of open, spinning, clearing, makes it easier as we connect up. So just breathe as we're just clearing. The record keepers are clearing the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th chakras above our heads. We're really inviting them to kind of open and spin and realign to each other, and coming down into the body, aligning to the 7th chakra, to the 6th, to the 5th, to the 4th. And again, down into the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st chakra, our root chakra. So we are creating a beautiful column of light, creating this chakra channel or pillar, it's sometimes referred to. And when this chakra pillar, when this chakra channel or column is open and clear and aligned, it becomes so much easier to receive your divine guidance from the Akashic Records. So just seeing that all opening and aligning with ease and grace. Just really anchoring all these in, and we want to anchor your 8th chakra, which holds a lot of that psychic energy. We connect that into this pineal 6th chakra, and we connect our 9th chakra also down into the 6th and into our throat, so that we can really connect to these higher chakras, bringing and anchoring that energy down into the body so that we can speak this more mystical, divine truth. Good. So connecting them, anchoring them. Doing a little more. I want to really open and anchor that crown chakra, connecting that down to the 5th and down into the heart. Again, so that we can bring that divine, mystical, psychic energy of the 8th, 9th, 10th rings or chakras down into the 7th chakra, down into our, connecting to our 6th chakra, to our clairvoyance, into our 5th chakra, into our communication, and down into our 4th chakra, into our claircognizance. Beautiful. So that looks lovely, and we're going to ask the Akashic Record Masters and Lords and Beings of Light to fill us from our 12th chakra, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, all of that beautiful golden energy, the highest energy, Akashic light and wisdom that you can now hold. It's pouring down into your chakras, down into this chakra column, creating a beautiful, aligned internal column, connecting all of your gifts, your clairaudience, your clairvoyance, your clairsentience, claircognizance. Opening and aligning and strengthening all of this in your physical body now. And so it is. Beautiful. That looks terrific. So, very exciting. You may feel a buzz. And that is all perfect. And so we're just going to, again, notice your feet on the ground. Notice your grounding cord, that big, wide grounding tail. And we're just going to invite ourselves to ground this energy into the body, integrate it into the physical body with ease and grace, really bringing our gifts fully present in our physical bodies, because this is really where we want them, right? We want to have this access with ease and grace. So take a couple breaths as you feel this column of light really dropping more solidly down into your physical form. Feeling the tingling and the integration, even all the way down into your feet and your legs and your whole torso. Even though this column is really a central column in the center of your body, it's starting to affect and integrate in all ways into physical form. That looks beautiful. Good, and we are just going to ask the Akashic Record Keepers to put a little time release bubble around us. And that means we're going to ask them to encircle us with light and energy that allows us to continue to integrate this into physical form for the next 24 hours with ease and grace. And so it is. Good. That feels great. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. I look forward to going on into Course 1 and working with you deeply in learning to access your soul divine guidance from your Akashic Record Keepers. Until then, many blessings. Bye for now.